I'm here in Paris. I was working Paris Fashion Week. It's everything that I always thought that I wanted. And then being there, I didn't have my community, and it was a bit harder in Paris to build my community. And I just found it to be very difficult. And although I was in my dream place doing exactly what I always wanted to do, I found myself being the loneliest I had ever felt and just confused on where I was supposed to go and what I was supposed to do. So that moment was such an important part of my life because it changed everything, honestly, of realizing the people that you surround yourself with impacts you both personally, professionally, spiritually, in every single possible capacity.
There's a quiet loneliness a lot of women don't talk about. You outgrown old rooms, you step into new seasons, and suddenly the community that once fit doesn't anymore. So I have such a beautiful special guest queen and honor to have. Her name is Jessie Anderson. Knows this feeling very, very much. After helping build one of the largest communities for women founders, entreprenista, and starting rebuilding from the ground up. In this episode of She Roars podcast, we're talking about what women actually need from community, why modern connection feels so broken, and how to start again when belonging feels scary. So I'm so excited to introduce Jessie Anderson. So let me just give you a little intro if you don't know who is Jessie. She is a community builder and marketing strategist who recently launched the waitlist for Harvi, an AI powered app rethinking how people connect in real life. After years as the marketing and creative director of Entreprenista, helping grow one of the largest communities for women founders, she's now building Harvey in public, sharing the real time lessons, missteps, and insights that come with designing modern community from the ground up. So, welcome, Jessie, to the show.
Thank you. I am super excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
It's excited to be able to have you on the show and just really share about your expertise and community because I believe you're like one of the best persons to talk about this. It's so funny how we actually met, and I love it because we were at a women's business conference in Dallas, Texas last
Yeah.
year. We actually just reconnected at the Besties Boardroom, which is another women's entrepreneur conference. When I tell you this woman, she knows her style, her fashion. She is killing it. It's so fun to be around. So I just knew I was like, girl, you need to be on my podcast. Like,
I know, and I couldn't even believe you were at the second event. I loved when we met the first time, and I didn't even know. Did you know I was gonna be there at the second one?
yeah, I saw you that you were going to be part of one of the speakers. So I was like,
Oh
I'm so excited. I was like, girl, I cannot wait to see you again, give you a big hug.
that's so perfect. When I saw you first, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe she's here." I love going to those conferences now and seeing some of the same people that I met. I love that so much.
Yes, and it just builds relationship and community, which is what we're going to be focusing on today. So
Right.
you mentioned that you rebuild community more times than most people ever have to, because I know you moved a lot around the world, girl, world traveler. What did those repeated starting over seasons teach you about what women actually need from community versus what we've been told community should look like?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I was born in Florida. I went right away to New York City for an internship, so I had to rebuild my community then, being 17 in the Big Apple, which was wild. I can't even believe that little tiny baby child walking around in New York by myself. And then I moved to California and went to school there and had to completely rebuild my community there. And then I've lived all over Europe, all over the US, just because I'm a crazy person. So every single time that I've done that, I've had to rebuild my community. And I think that I've always been inclined to do that. I think it's always been interesting to just meet new people. I love talking to people, it's my passion. And I've just learned with moving into all those different spaces and having to rebuild every single time, how important it truly is. Because, like, for example, I always wanted to move to Paris and I always wanted to pursue fashion marketing, actually, which is what I originally went to school for. And so I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm here in Paris. I was working Paris Fashion Week. It's everything that I always thought that I wanted. And then being there, I didn't have my community, and it was a bit harder in Paris to build my community. And I just found it to be very difficult. And although I was in my dream place doing exactly what I always wanted to do, I found myself being the loneliest I had ever felt and just confused on where I was supposed to go and what I was supposed to do. So that moment was such an important part of my life because it changed everything, honestly, of realizing the people that you surround yourself with impacts you both personally, professionally, spiritually, in every single possible capacity. And right after that, I moved to Orlando just temporarily, I thought, to help one of my best friends with her wedding. I ended up getting a job out there, and Orlando was not the place that I wanted to be. That was never a hot spot of mine, and it ended up being the best experience because I found a dream job that had the best community environment, and then I was surrounded by my best friend. So I was like, "Wow, I was in Paris not
Amazing.
having the greatest time because of community, and then I moved to Orlando where I never wanted to be, and there I was happy as can be figuring out my life." So I think that that kind of was the start of it all.
Yes, and I can definitely understand where you're coming from because me born and raised in New York and then moving to Dallas, Texas, suddenly in like a 5-week time frame and leaving my community that I was born and raised and everything, my family, and then starting over from scratch. It for me, it definitely took a while for me to find my tribe, to find my sisterhood because I was home and homesick is real because you're away from your family and your best friends and you just feel like where is everybody? So that is amazing how just everything just follow into you moving to Orlando and just really finding like your tribe.
Yeah, and going back to you moving to Dallas, it's and what I hear from everyone, we used to go into work. I mean, some people still do, but mostly people are working remotely. And so we're not even finding our coworkers that we can hang
Mhm.
out.
Right.
We're not in anymore. We don't have the capability of finding all those people in college, then we don't have it from a work setting now most of the time, and so it's like, how do you find friends? How do you find your community? It's very difficult to really build real meaningful relationships, and I think as we get older, we're craving that more and more. Like,
Mm.
I know transitional. I used to be the person that just wanted to meet everybody. I had FOMO to the extreme and needed to go to every single thing and meet every single person. And I think just growing up realizing that I still want to meet a lot of people, don't get me wrong, but I build meaningful relationships with those people and truly, truly connect versus having surface level conversations. So
Yeah.
I think just changing as we get older.
Right. And then it's just also knowing where you invest your time and in what relationships are to invest in time in those relationships. Because I realize, especially for many women, it is hard to trust people, trust in new relationships or friendships on past experiences or traumatic experiences with friendships and relationships. That sometimes they are
Yeah.
afraid to just go put themselves out there again and connecting and go into these events. So, what can you say to those women that are struggling in regards to building new relationships and friendships despite of their past experiences?
Yeah, of course, we all have our own experiences, but what I will say, and even at the conferences that we met at, I think I've realized that instead of really trying to meet every single person in the room, it's truly about connecting, even with two people, even deeply, deeply connecting with two more people than you did before going to an event or just whatever you're doing in your life. That is incredible. Like, think about how one person in your life has impacted you, let alone trying to make two connections. So, that's what I say for a big networking event. If, as an example, I try to make 5 deep, deep connections with those people and not really try to, talk to every single person because at that point, it's just surface level conversations. We're all saying the same thing in terms
Yeah.
of networking. networking. So that's kind of my best advice there. What do you typically do when you go into a networking event like that?
Oh, that's a good point of really having 5 people that you can have deep conversations. For me, I'm just
Yeah,
feeling that like, okay, if we're sitting next to each other at a table, there's no coincidence why you're here with me. So I just
yeah,
start those conversations and just even getting to know the person next to me or where if we're like waiting online for the bathroom. Okay,
yeah.
just having those basic conversations and see where it goes. Sometimes
Mhm.
it goes deeper, sometimes it doesn't, but you will know and feel it when you have a deep connection from someone instantly that you don't really have to like go beat around the
Try.
bushes. Like we could go on deep conversations and we just met in day one, and it just flows naturally and you just don't have to force it when it's meant to be.
That's such a good point. I think too, as we get older, our energy is less and less because we're so
Yeah.
busy in our lives. People that instantly is like, oh, they're warm. They're like a safe space. I don't have to
Yes.
put in so much energy and so much work into having a
Mhm.
conversation is sacred. And when you find that person, hold them tight because
E Yes, yes, hold them tight once you find that
yeah,
person because they could be part of your tribe, they could be a divine
exactly.
connection, collaboration, business
Never know.
partner. It's like you never know, you never know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
another thing I notice is many women listening are successful on paper, but
Mhm.
privately feel disconnected or lonely. Like you mentioned, you was in Paris and you felt that
Mhm.
loneliness. Why do you think modern women are surrounded by people, yet still struggle to feel truly seen and known?
I think a lot of it honestly has to do with social media. As great as social media, obviously it's life and business and personal connection and whatnot. There is a lot to discuss there and how it's impacting, especially this day and age, and how we connect and find our people. Because there's so much going on our phones, and yeah, I think it's made it a lot more difficult in terms of friends, in terms of business relationships, in terms of dating. It's definitely, I am single, and it's definitely made it a lot more difficult for, I think, people to just connect because there's so much going on their phone. There's the next best thing happening. There's another
Mhm.
event is happening. So it just makes it a lot more difficult with social media.
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially with there's a lot of comparing. There could be competition or in a sense of just comparing yourself of how the other person's social media is. And women are unfortunately feeling that loneliness and low self-esteem and just be afraid
Yeah.
of being visible and being seen in that perspective. So it's using social media in a way that is beneficial and it helps you grow, but at the same time having healthy boundaries that if you know it's affecting your life personally, if you're keep scrolling and scrolling, it's just having those set boundaries to help you not
Yeah.
allow that to consume you.
Yeah, and something I think about a lot is how they're all social platforms, but in all reality, they're not bringing real in-person connections as much
Mhm.
as it should. And I don't think social media has really changed that much within the past 10 plus years. It really has been just online, interactions where it's not bringing it into real life. And that is what I'm trying to create with Harvey of yes, it's a social tool, but the whole point of it is to get off of it and meet with people in real life. So I think that's where just the social world has lacked, and I'm trying to make it better. So stay tuned.
Yes, come on. I love that, and especially that you're incorporating AI, which is now on the rise, and it's an AI platform that you're building to help build community globally, and whoever is in whichever nation or country or state, they can come and meet. Can you speak a little bit more about what is this platform and be able to how to connect and know more about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Harvey is going to be a little bit different than what we're used to. So when you download the app, like for instance, if you had a dating app, it's usually 5 photos and one bio. It barely tells you anything about who you really are and doesn't really know you. So what Harvey is going to do is going to have a whole onboarding conversation with you like a friend. So I don't know if you have ChatGPT Pro. If you don't, you definitely should. But you can
Uh-huh.
have a whole conversation with him. He's my business advisor. He's my best friend. But it's gonna be very similar to that where you talk to Harvey and Harvey asks you some initial questions where he's getting to know you, who you are, your interests, the people you like to surround yourself with, the types of events you like to attend, the communities you wanna join, and potentially even things that you haven't done before that you're interested in, like you wanna play pickleball, whatever. It's gonna learn all of that about you and create a profile for you that's a lot more in depth than what we're used to. So it's almost obviously you can share as much as you want on the profile or not, but it's going to be more of a life timeline and then also bucket list items, all of that kind of good stuff. So you can really figure out a person within that profile. And then what the AI is basically going to do is going to set you up with like minded people. So, for instance, if you and I were in the same city, it would say, okay, you're both women entrepreneurs. There's this event that's happening. You both should attend it. Do you want to attend together? Which is going to alleviate. I think a lot of people feel awkward going into a setting alone where they don't know anybody. But what it's going to do is connect you with at least one person before the event. So you can at least have an initial conversation with them and feel like, okay, let's meet at, this water fountain before
Yeah.
we get there, whatever. Or let's get a drink beforehand or an app beforehand so that you'll have that person or if you are interested in pickleball, let's say, it will connect us and say, "Hey, Jennifer, do you want to go play pickleball with Jessie? Jessie, do you want to play pickleball with Jennifer?" Almost like a middleman concierge.
Yeah.
So the chat bot, it's you have a similar interest. You guys should go play. Jessie, you're available on Saturday morning. So is Jennifer, and it'll set you up in that capacity. So it's going to set you
That's
up with
awesome.
like-minded events, like-minded communities, and completely change the social world. So get ready, everybody.
Get ready, everybody. I love that. And I can find my people that loves afternoon tea. I love afternoon tea.
There you
So
go.
I just love my tea, girl. So that is
Well, I'm in London right now.
amazing. Yes, you are in London. So you're going to have afternoon tea for me in the meantime and
I
have some
will.
good
I'll
pastries
send you
and
pics.
croissants. Okay. Oh, that is phenomenal. That is phenomenal of just having like divine connections wherever you go and making it much easier because you have years of experience working in community and building community as well. And I know that you spend years helping grow Entreprenista into a powerful community for women founders, which I love. What do you observe behind the scenes about women's deeper struggles when it comes to relationship, belonging, visibility, especially in a big room?
Yeah, I mean, how much time do you got, girl?
Girl, we
Um,
got time.
but I mean, so much. And I think that also not only my personal life of moving around the world and moving all over the US, but I think Entreprenista was really the main reason why it was like, okay, community changes everyone's life because I worked for Entreprenista and just realized the impact that real meaningful relationships has on someone's business. And I've gotten, I could spend hours talking about how much I've learned about the importance of community when it comes to growing a business. And we're all growing our businesses alone, at least to start, and to have a sounding board and to have women that are supporting you as you're growing your business, it's not easy. And that's invaluable. That is worth, I can't even explain how much that is worth.
Mhm.
So I got to see that firsthand over and over and over again. And that's what I think really, really inspired Harvey is seeing that from a women business perspective, but then also seeing how everyone is lacking community and everyone is having a difficult time. It's not just founders, it's not just single people. It's also, my best friend who's married who has two kids, who I feel like hasn't found they're the best people I know and still haven't found like
Mhm.
their best.
Right.
I moved to Palm Beach, the last place I just moved, and I was like, "Wow, there's all these buildings around here. My best friend could be in the building right next door, and I don't even know." So
Right.
it just was like all of this inspiration from Entrepreneurship, from my personal life, from my parents who I would love to have them meet more amazing people for them to hang out with in their town. So it
Mhm.
just, we're all kind of looking for that safe space and our people.
Yes, and you mentioned something so key is finding a safe place to feel welcome, not judged. There's no envy or jealousy or comparison. It's just really good, authentic relationships that people are really craving and interaction. Physical
Yeah.
interaction, especially with my entrepreneurs out there that are working remotely
Oh,
at
yeah.
home and just feeling isolated. It's time to get out, girl.
Mhm.
It's time to get out. Step
It's
outdoors.
time.
Step
And also
outdoors.
time for entrepreneurs to do other activities, not just business networking, but also we need to get our mind in
Yes.
places and go do activities and go on, walks or dinners or whatever it is that
Mhm.
you're the good news is Harvey's gonna know what your interests are and help you along the way and be able to connect you with like-minded people in that respect. So I'm excited to have it myself personally. I'm building this for
I'm
me, and I
excited
think
as well. Yes.
for me, I wanted to. So hopefully that's the case.
Yes, and it also I believe that it brings so much healing when we find our tribe and friendships and relationships that yes, you have to get your mind off work mode. You have to find a hobby, something that really gonna nourish you, fill your cup, and
Yeah.
be able to not think about work because you don't want to burn out. And finding that community that can help you find your tribe and like, oh, you love doing the same thing, like you love going to coffee shops or you love dancing, going out dancing, or going out golfing. Like, I want to know more women that likes golf. So I'm gonna be able
Yep,
to find my
exactly.
tribe that loves golf as much as I do to help me to take care of myself, build relationship. You never know the conversations that happens.
Exactly. Well, I am excited for you to find your best friends and maybe more. Who knows? That's the whole point of Harvey. It's not a dating app. It really is for everyone. And I think that's a whole nother that's a whole nother podcast. Now need to have 3 podcasts on how it
Yes, come
can.
on.
I'm over dating apps. I'm over finding it's hard because we're so busy. We can't go out. We
Mhm.
don't want to go to the bar to find a man. And so it's also helping to find that sort of relationship too, not just friends, any sort of relationship. And I know
Mhm.
personally, I play pickleball, which is why I keep using that as an example. But I
Yes.
would rather
I tried
pick with
pickleball
a group of
before, it was not it.
no. Oh, you have
I
to play
tried
pickleball
pickleball
with
one
me.
time.
I'll make it fun. Don't worry.
You gotta teach me some skills, girl.
I will. I definitely will. But any scenario like that, if you're in a group setting, and that's what Harvey's going to do too, he'll say, okay, there's 4 people that want to go play golf. Are you interested? And so if one of those people happen to be, your future husband, girlfriend, whatever it is,
Right,
then
you never
amazing.
know.
That you never know. So that's also another aspect of what Harvey's going to be because I think we're all just exhausted from the dating life in 2026.
Yeah, and that is the part as well for this new year. For me, I feel a shift when it happens when I know that God is calling me to a new social circle, like a new friendship. Like there's certain friendships too that are not able to go on your next level. There are not in like
Mhm.
your social circle. Feel the shift. Like there's certain friendships and relationships that you had for years. But there's a shift in regards to, okay, there's something new coming along the way in this path, and certain people are not allowed to go to your next. So when
And
building
that's okay.
community that are like-minded,
Yeah.
that are going to help you to go to your next level mentally, spiritually, physically.
Mhm.
It's all about being open to those connections, to those new connections, because that is where growth happens and healing. And then also just breakthrough in regards to those areas that probably you didn't know you were struggling with. But when you found that community and that sisterhood that made you feel so welcome and seen and heard, like, it just transforms your whole life.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we've all gone through a million transitions. I think I went through one more recently about a year ago and I was like, okay, if they're not serving me because I also know that I am a really good friend. If you come into my life, I've had the same friends since preschool. Everyone I've ever met who I've truly loved is still in my life to this day. And so that takes up energy and that takes up space because I will be a great friend to you. I will be here for you. And I just sat back, I think sometime last year, and I was like, if this person isn't doing the same thing back, if they aren't giving me what I'm giving them, if this isn't an equal relationship, which is what a relationship is supposed to be, why put in the energy?
Mhm.
I have really good, amazing friends that I do not need to spend my energy on someone who's not bringing that back. And I think that there's a beauty to that, like you're mentioning, and I think that's a really, really important thing to really pay attention to. Hard only gonna help with that because he's gonna be a trusted friend almost that you can say that to and say, "Hey, these were my interests. These are the type of people I was hanging out with, and now I'm really interested in more people who are really wanting to focus on business and really ready to
Mm.
scale," or whatever it is. It could be the opposite. Maybe been scaling
Yeah.
and you're fine, and Harvey's only gonna facilitate that.
That's wonderful. I love that. And I know you're building Harvey in public, which I love that you're sharing the process of building it, like the missteps, the uncertainty from building something new, which is so
Yeah.
inspiring because I love seeing the behind the scenes of something being created new. Because, yeah, there's a learning process along the journey that people want to learn, and especially creating a whole new app. Why do you believe transparency is so important right now? And how does it model healthier leadership and community for women watching right now?
I think there's a lot of reasons, to be honest, and especially for something like Harvey. This is meant for everyone. So, building it in public, I'm getting everyone's feedback as I'm going because everybody has different interests and wants different things. So, I've had hundreds of conversations with people, with founders, whomever, about Harvey and really what it should look like. And I think having everyone's feedback is so valuable and so important and things are shifting and it'll continue to shift. So from that perspective, building in public, I really wanted to make a big priority for that reason. But then also on the other aspect, we're building an AI company, and a lot of people don't have trust in AI. And I think having real humans showing that we're building this from a very pure place, it's because
Mm,
what I will say, I have been scared of the future because I'm like, "Oh my gosh, nobody's gonna talk to each other, nobody's gonna hang out, everyone's just gonna
yep.
talk to their computer." I'm that kind of person, and I like phone calls, I don't like texting, I'm, like, old school when it comes to communication, and my brother, who I'm actually building this app with, he's the complete opposite. He has always loved technology, he knows everything about AI, knows all of the latest updates, so excited for the future, and the really cool part of what we're building is it's the perfect combination of his interest of AI and technology and my interest of community and people and putting it together. So we're
Mm,
using AI, which sounds scary, but using it for good and using it to bring people together. And I want to do it now versus down the line when we don't have that connection. So I'm wanting to build this now when we can and use it for the better. So I think building in public just shows that we're real people with a real mission
mm,
and a real purpose. And hopefully it won't be as scary for people in that respect too. So I think from those two perspectives, and then wait, there's a third. I just thought of this. Another reason I love when people build in public, and I think everyone loves to see that is just the transparency
mm,
because an AI app sounds like I should not be doing that. Like, who am I to build an AI app? But I'm gonna figure it out. There's gonna be issues, like you said, there's gonna be missteps. And I don't want to pretend that I know everything because I don't. I'm not the best person to talk about AI. I'm not the best person to talk about how to develop an app, but I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna bring you along with me and so that you can learn and so that you can see or other founders can see. We're
mhm.
just figuring it out and everyone it out no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing. And I think there comes a safety and a security in seeing that and knowing that other people are feeling that same way.
Yeah, that is so good because people needs to hear and see Also, starting something new that you never thought or imagined you doing because like you mentioned, like you never thought you will be doing a whole AI app. And for people to see it, like to do it with good intentions and pure heart,
Mhm,
it transforms, it changes people's perspective that yes, you can use AI for the good of people, of service, and with a pure heart and intention and being authentic. And when
mhm,
building, it's very important to receive feedback from the community, from the audience, because well, sometimes we think, oh, this is the best option, this is the best route. And then next thing you know, you hear your audience like, no, like you should add this and this. And like, oh, I never thought
mhm.
about it. And it's so important to hear your audience feedback, which I love that you welcome them along the journey to be able to prepare for this launch, which is gonna be when?
So there's a lot of steps, but the
Uh-huh.
MVP of the app to be done within the next month and a half or so. And at that point, we're going to have some user testing just to see. Of course, there's going to be a lot that we need to fix and update, but we want to get, like you said, a lot of people's feedback right away. So we're going to have a few people be testing it out. We are going to investors at that point as well. So who knows how long that process is going to take, but you guys are going to follow along with me and we'll see together.
Yes.
But our biggest priority right now is just getting people onto our wait list and so that they're in the know, and we're also everyone that's on the wait list is priority for testing it out, priority access when we officially launch. And then also we're asking our email subscribers as well feedback and asking them, different quizzes to see what they'd want on the app as well. So you're kind of in the know and kind of also being a part of the creation of Harvey too when you're on the wait list. So my goal for the next few months is really just build that, get the word out there of what we're
Mhm.
building, and who knows what happens from there. Let's see.
Yes, so joyful and exciting for this new year and Harvey to be released. So if people want to join the wait list, where can they go and where can they connect with you?
Yeah. So you can join the waitlist at heyharvi.com. And then we actually also have a separate waitlist for anyone who is a founder who has events or communities. So if you are interested in having your events or communities on Harvey when we do launch, then email me at jessie@heyharvi.com. Message me on Instagram at Jessie Anderson, and also just follow along at Jessie Anderson. And our Instagram, sorry, there's a million things. Our Instagram is hey.harvey as well. So make sure to follow along and join the waitlist so you're in the know and see all the good, bad, and ugly.
Yes, come on. And I will definitely put all your website and social media and on the notes and description on this episode. So make sure to follow and sign up on that waiting list so you can know when Harvey will be launched and released to the public, which is so, so exciting
Wow.
for this new venture in building community in 2026. And before we end, girl, I just love your heart, your passion of bringing people together, which I so love. And I do have a last question for you. If a woman feels disconnected right now in a new city, new season,
Mm,
or simply just outgrowing old circles, what is one small but
mhm,
powerful step she can take today to begin building a line
mhm.
community again?
I mean, when Harvey's available, download Harvey. But
Yeah.
before it's available, I would say what we were talking about earlier of making it a priority, because finding that person or one or more people that are actually genuinely, a deep, meaningful friend takes a lot of work, and it's not always easy, and you have to put yourself in the right settings in order to find that person. Like, if you are really dedicated on your business or work, then going to a co-working facility and making it a priority to talk to people, because
Mm,
sometimes we get so in our head with what we're doing, but it's like, wait, reminder, let me talk to someone, like you said, when you're in a bathroom lane, whatever it is, prioritizing that and really, really reminding yourself that that is so necessary in order to succeed in anything that you're doing. So I think just remembering that on a daily basis of, try to make one new connection a week or whatever makes sense for you and your
yeah.
business or whatever you're doing, but prioritizing that I think is the best advice that I have there.
Love that. Love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you so much for being on the show. Oh, I just love you and your heart and your passion. I cannot just wait until the Harvey app is released. And also, ladies, if this encouraged you to build a community, a new circle, tribe, and sisterhood in 2026, make sure to share this episode to your sisters, share to your friends, social media, and please register as well and subscribe to my channel and to my podcast on all platforms. And also make sure to sign up to the waitlist for Harvey so that way you can be known. And also, if you have an event like she mentioned or a community that you want to also post and support the Harvey app, make sure you also put your information on the waiting list. So thank you so much, Jessie, for being again at the She Roars podcast.
Thank you,
And remember,
Jennifer.
ladies, thank you, girl. It was such a joy. It was
So
such a
much fun.
joy.
Thank you so much for love you so much, and I
I
hope I get
love
to
you
see you soon.
too. Yes, love you too. I might see you at your launch. Never know. That would be
I'll
so
keep you
fun.
posted, don't you worry.
That would be so
That will
epic.
be amazing.
Yes, that will be amazing.
And
Thank you so much. And thank you for Queens for listening to this episode. And remember, ladies, come out of hiding and release your roar.